Hello and welcome everybody. My name is Savage and today we're going to be having a look at BTC. We've just been moving sideways for the most part. We've not really done a whole lot and we're going to be investigating where we think this is going. But first off, I'd like to say I hope everyone's had a great holiday and also thank you for watching this video. If you're enjoying the content, please smash that like button, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, and why not leave us some feedback in the comment section down below. Okay, so let's get into the price action here. And what we were looking at is the potential that we were moving up for this wave 2. For the most part, that hasn't really changed. It's just how we get there now is potentially different. So we do have the possibility that this is still extending to the upside here in this teal 5 wave move. The structure, however, is becoming a bit sort of elongated here, so it is possible still that we have completed this wave 1 and all of this to the side is a wave 2. And basically, we're just going to be monitoring this. It is also possible that this is all still within a corrective pattern and it just needs to play out. And actually, what we're going to be looking to do is revisit this zone of the 16,727 to the 16,630. If I just move this over, we can see that we actually did come down into this range again and we touched into the top end of it. So it's possible that we have already revisited that. And basically what we'll be looking for now is for confirmation of it by moving up into this zone of this 17,279 for this third wave. So if that does play out effectively, what we'd be looking for is if I just move these over quickly to the side here, just grab this, move them over, and drop this in there. Okay. So this is what we'd be looking for confirmation that we're having an additional 5-wave move to the upside here, and that what we'd be looking for here is effectively just a corrective pattern to the upside in this wave 2. And if it does play out as a corrective pattern, this would mean that we would be looking for continuation to the downside after. So basically what we'd be looking for is this as a ABC to the upside. And once that completes, we'd be looking for that progression back to the downside. So if we come and have a look at this now, we can argue that potentially we have a wave 2 in this zone completed if we were looking for a 5-wave move to the upside. And if I zoom right in here, we have a few ways that we can look at this. We can either look at this as a 1 2 within this zone here, and then an additional 1, and we're looking for another 2 here, so that would be basically a 1 2 1 2, and then we'd be looking for that third wave to the upside. So with these moves, what we would be looking for is a bigger 5-wave move to the upside like this, potentially looking to target out this 17,279 area as a typical third wave target of this first 5-wave move to the upside. So that's what we are currently looking for evidence of. There is also the possibility that what we would be looking for is actually we might be starting this with a diagonal, with a leading diagonal. And what we could see is another 5-wave move to the upside here, a smaller 5-wave move to the upside here, potentially looking to target out, if I just draw this channel line on the top here, potentially looking to target out towards the top of this channel. It doesn't have to reach the top of this channel, so it is possible that we could fall short and maybe form a double top with this wave 3 or just slightly break through to it but not actually reach it. It is also possible we come up and we look to break it. The main difference within these moves is basically what we would be looking for is with both of these moves we would not want to cross back down below the 16,721 area, and we would be looking for confirmation of moving up towards this for a bigger pattern. If we are looking at this as a 1-2 situation, what we'd be looking for here within this second pit here is we'd be looking for a retracement, which we can see we've come down to this 50% already. So that is possibly completed. Alternatively, what we might have here is we might have an A wave into this low. We look to form a B wave to the upside, and then we look to break down to the downside again. So this is something we need to be just mindful of, that we could actually see continuation to the downside here. So if we have a B wave retracement, if I just take this off for a second, what we'd be looking for is moving up and targeting this zone here of this 0.5, which we've already moved up to, all the way up to sort of this 78.6 zone. Moving up past this 16,924 area would indicate to me that we're potentially within a third wave here already. And until we do move back up past that point, we have to just be aware that we could have another leg to the downside. So if this move here is actually completed at this high point, or if it does look to push slightly higher, if it fails to break this 16924 area, what we'd be looking for is continuation to the downside, and this would itself be a corrective move if it does play out like this. So potentially we could look to target out maybe this 702 zone, which was previous resistance here. We can see we've been rejected by it a few times, or alternatively we could look to just break down from this point here. So if we did move up to the 702 zone, which is the 16,892 area, what we'd be looking for is a move down uh, towards the 16,786 zone. So now that we have that zone, if I just as a one-to-one, I'm just going to drop that on there. If we investigate this further, we can have a look at this one move to the upside here. I'm going to just drop it directly on this high point so we get an accurate read. We can see that if we do come down to this if we do come down to this one-to-one, it's not far off of this 0.702. So we could look to retest that, or potentially even the 618 if it does decide to break down further from this point. So that's what we need to bear in mind. We could be looking for a move back down into this little zone here. Ideally, it wouldn't go below the 786 if we're looking at a wave 2, but basically anywhere between the 16768 to this 16825. That would be a typical area I'd be looking for with a wave 2 retracement. So it's unclear whether we are completed here and we're actually going to start to move up. If we do move back up and break this high point, what I'd be looking for then is basically we'd be looking for this typical wave 3 move on this white wave that we have marked up here. And if we don't break down any further, this would effectively be here at the 17,140 zone. So I'm just going to quickly go and drop a line on there for now. We're going to change this to blue. And what we'll be looking for is a move up past this to confirm that we're within a third wave move. If this does play out, what we'd then be looking for is this additional wave to the upside and a fifth wave, and that would look to potentially move up to this 17,178 to the 17,227 area, should it play out as we have indicated here. So we can see that that hasn't quite reached this teal typical third wave. So what we'd have to do from there is actually see maybe we get some further extensions within this. Well, if this did play out like we have it here, and this is actually a 1-2-1-2 situation, we can then see that what we would actually find is that this additional leg within here, so that would all become the third wave. So all of these, every impulsive wave has 5 waves within it. So this 5-wave move here would effectively become the third wave, and then we would be looking for a fourth wave down and an additional fifth wave to the upside. If we just throw this fib on here, what we could see is that potentially we look to target out this 382 or this previous fourth wave that we have here, and then look for that additional move to the upside, which would take us roughly. This is all very rough, and until we get the waves, it's just sort of a roadmap, basically towards the 17,336 to the 17,262 zone. So that is a possibility that we could be looking at this 5-wave move developing as we have it here. In which case, what we would then have is a completed third wave, if this does play out, and what we're looking at is that would then become this third wave here. This third wave would move into this position, and then we'd be looking for an additional fourth and a fifth. So that could take us a little bit higher up to this 17,414 to the 17,330. It is also possible that we could look to extend slightly and potentially target out the 0.618 area, which we've been talking about for a few days now, which is the 17,504 area, or potentially even this descending trend line here. So that would be basically what we are looking for as a ABC pattern. And then all of this would effectively just become an A. So if I just draw it in here, this would all be an A. This would come down for a B wave into this zone, and then this would be a C wave. That could potentially complete this wave 2 position. And then what we'd be looking for from there is basically to have a 5-wave move to the downside develop with a 1, 2, and then we'd be looking for this third wave confirmation, which would come by dropping past this 14,336. So if I just actually remove some of the stuff now, the best way of me doing this is probably actually just to quickly jump onto here, and we're just going to put this all in one group for now, and we can turn that off. Okay. So with that, now what we would be looking for is if we're looking for a corrective structure to the upside, basically what we have to be aware, sorry, there is a chance of a breakout within this zone. And what we would be looking for this is a bigger 5-wave move to the upside, looking for evidence that actually what we had was a flat correction in this zone. I don't really like the structure of it, like I've said many times, but it is potentially possible. So we are just looking at that option. So that would have all of this be a 1, 2, and then if we do get like a lot of extension within these waves, we'd be effectively looking to target out this zone here for confirmation that we are in a bigger 5-wave move here, which would be the 17,905 area, and this would eventually look to target out somewhere in this 18,301 to this 18,0779. Like I said, basically, until we get more structure out of this, it's very difficult to say. But the 1-to-1 of A is also in this zone, which is this 18,287 area. So if we do start to see some impulsive movement to the upside, this could actually be what's playing out. But we would have to wait for this confirmation of moving higher past the 17,905. If that does play out, then we are within this bigger 5-wave move, and we'd be looking for the 4th wave to actually complete here and not where we had it initially in this zone here. So these are the things that we're just monitoring. We'll keep you up to date as they develop, but basically within this move, um, for both of these moves of looking for this further continuation to the upside, we don't want to drop below the 16,590, 16,559 and also the 16,256. This lower mark here, this 16,256, would actually invalidate any further extension to the upside here, and would eliminate this potential for having a bigger white impulse that we have shown here. So that would be what we are looking for within this move. There is that potential for a little bit more upside. The waves here are a little bit choppy, so it's just worrying me a little bit. We also talked about the fact that if we can't manage to move up past sort of this 1-to-1 zone, and we don't get this bigger move up into this teal location here, this 17,279, that we could also still potentially look to revisit this big support zone that we have here. And if I just actually clear this one off for a second, basically what we could do is look to retest this zone down here between the 16,653 all the way down to the 16,425. And what that would look like is basically within these moves, if I just turn all of these off for a second, and the breakout. Let me throw a fib on this so that we can see what we're talking about here. This could all still actually be within a B wave, and what we could be looking for is actually what we have here is this is all an A into this low point. We form a B to the upside, and then we form that C wave back to the downside. So this could be a flat correction in play here. It also could potentially be a triangle, but I don't really like this beginning structure of it as a triangle. And we would need to have a lot more confirmation. So this is the most immediate thing that I'm looking for with this, is if it does become an ABC pattern, what we could see is something to the effect of this, where we look to move up towards the 17,114 zone, or potentially even set a double top here at this 17,000 area, and then look for further progression to the downside. So what we would be looking at within this internal wave here is basically this would be an ABC to the upside, and then we'd be looking for that continuation to the downside in a 5-wave move. So this is a corrective structure, and as a corrective structure, what it would mean is that we would be looking for another move to the upside. And if that were to take place, effectively, this whole thing here would just become a B wave, And if I just delete these subwaves so it's slightly less cluttered, what we would be looking at then is potential that this whole move here is A, down in a B, and then looks for that C wave retracement. Like we talked about in the previous video, if this is to become an expanding flat, what we could potentially look for is a move up anywhere past this 1-to-1 for this B wave. It doesn't have to cross that, but we'd want to see at least a move past this 0.786 zone, potentially higher past this 0.854 area, and then looking for continuation to the downside. If it does, the typical zone for these expanding flats is this wave B to come up into this 1.236 to this 1.382 zone, and then look for continuation to the downside. So if that is the case, the potential we have then is that we have a move here that could look to target out somewhere between, actually, let me do it like this. If we come from this high point to this low point. This is obviously very rough for the time being until we get further structure here. But we could look to move back down sort of between this 1.382, which is 16.517, to the 16.402 if it's going to become a bigger B wave within this zone here. So we just need to bear in mind that there is possibilities for downside still. We could see this slight move to the upside, then this continuation to the downside, and then an additional leg to the upside. We just need to be aware of that. And yeah, like I said, we'll keep you up to date as best we can with the information as we see it and as we get it. And I hope that everyone has enjoyed this video. And if you have, please smash that like button, hit that subscribe button if you haven't subscribed already. And why not leave us some feedback down in the comment section down below. Also in the description below, you'll find a link to BYBIT. Really is a great exchange. It's the one we use when we're trading, whether that's spot trading or leverage trading. It has great risk management tools within it. So if you don't have an account, why not check out the affiliate link. Also in the description, there's the link to Discord. Why not come down and have a chat with us? Once you're in the general chat area, just mention a member of staff. We'll be happy to help you out. Okay, with all that said and done, I hope everyone has a great day. And until we see each other again, see you in the next video.